Yeah, my name's Davyth Hicks, Secretary General of European Language Equality Network. We're here today to support the demo for the Diwan Breton immersion schools, a very important network that's going to guarantee our work on Breton language recovery.
We heard in the news last week that Spain is going to finance North Catalonia high school. Do you think the Bretons should look in Wales for financing?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. Yes, Spanish government, after negotiations with the Catalan authorities, are going to help support Labra Sola, the North Catalan schools. Also, we see some help happening from the Basque, with our organisations there, helping Basque language there. So increasingly looking at that and seeing how Breton's quite relatively isolated, it would be something that we could suggest as ELEN to the Welsh Government. Would it be interested in supporting the Breton schools because of the close connections to between Breton and Welsh, and also with Cornish. However, the main thing is here, not really to have the support from Wales, but surely, as it's an education system and Bretons are paying their taxes in Brittany, surely it should be supported by the state here.
You are from Cornwall, correct? What is the situation of the Cornish language in Cornwall?
Well, it's been in a worse state. I would say that it's very slowly recovering. But I think, as with the problems here, it's just in a completely different situation. It fell out of use as a community language at the end of the 1700s. It kind of carried on a little bit through the 19th century and then began to be revived. But we've only got like a few hundred speakers, and then we have almost no financial support at all from the state, despite the state ratifying the charter. So we really need much more bigger investment. There's a lot of political will, there's a lot of public support, there's a lot of people learning it, but we just do not have the finances to kind of really expand as much as we'd like to. It's something that we're working on, but yeah, to date, at the moment, Cornwall, we still come under the rule of the UK government, and we're not getting that financial support that we want.
You talk about human rights, the children chart, and do you think the Bretons should work more on legal issues concerning minorities' language?
I think, they already do. We have our member organisation here is Kevre Braze, and they've been very active for a long time at the UN with the Council of Europe and the EU. And there are rights issues, but it's not just rights issues. It's about financing. It's about language recovery. It's about greater social use. But for us, we see that legislative base, that legal base, is the thing that you build your language recovery on. If you're going to build like the infrastructure for education, you need like an education act so you can build it. You need that legal statute, and we need to see this for Breton. We need to see that whole infrastructure happening, and that then acts to guarantee the rights. I mean, as Bretons, under international law, the UN, you are meant to be able to go to school in your language and to be able to use your language. And this isn't happening. Therefore, France is contravening these rights. It's very clear. We raise it at the UN on a regular basis. Also with the EU, we have the Treaty of Lisbon. You cannot discriminate against minorities in Article 2. You have the Council of Europe, the Convention on Human Rights. There's language guarantees in that. France breaks and contravenes all these treaties. We raise it, but France still doesn't change. But it's the 21st century. Language diversity is normal. We have like multilingual, plurilingual states like Spanish state or Belgium. And France is multilingual as well. And it has Breton, Corsican, Occitan, Basque. But France still wants us to think that it's like 1850 or it's the Jacobin centralized state. And it's not, it's time for France to embrace its own language diversity and to take steps to support its territorial languages.
What are the other ways or the means that Bretons should use to put pressure on the French government?
I think, the Breton movement is remarkable considering that it hasn't got, very little financial support. It shows you that the political will and the support of the public is here. But there are different ways. Today there's going to be a demonstration here in Rennes, organised by Diwan for their schools. So there's demonstrations. There's this civil society activism. This is the main engine. This is the main driver for change. And then getting your politicians to bring it up in Paris. So, Paul Molak's doing a fantastic job, but we need another 100 Paul Molaks, and then to make that change happen in Paris. And then things like, if we take what's been really effective, is that each territory has autonomy. Where we see language recovery being effective, where there's stabilisation, like say in the Basque Country or in Wales, is where they've also have some territorial autonomy, so they can govern their own language policy and have a budget for language policy and for language recovery.
Thank you very much.
Very good.
Great.